What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as I promised, I'm seeing you guys very soon, as I said in my last video. Welcome to my new subscribers and to my ones that have been holding it down even as I took some time to figure my life out. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying loyal. So I wanted to use this video to really just hone in on everything nursing as far as it pertains to me. So over the last couple of months, I've gotten a lot of questions and a lot more views on my videos about my accelerated nursing program. And so I just wanted to kind of go through and answer all the questions that people have been asking me, but also just kind of take you guys practically through my journey. I feel like when people come on YouTube, and specifically for me when I used to come on YouTube, I want to know the nitty-gritty, all the practicals. What should I do? Because this is something that I want to achieve. And so I'm just going to be really honest about my grades, why I went to the school I went to, kind of all these things that led me to where I am and now being a successful nurse. So if this is something that interests you, obviously continue watching. Okay, so fast forward back to 2018. 2018, I graduated with my first bachelor's degree. It was a bachelor's of art in psychology. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but realistically, I've always wanted to be a nurse. I just kept getting waitlisted or not getting in because of my grades. So I was like, well, let's try psychology and kind of see how that works. So it didn't work, obviously. And I was like, okay, I really still want to do nursing, but I don't want to do like another 4 years. Like I just did that and that was expensive, and I'm not trying to do that over again. Like, yes, I want to be a nurse, but no, I don't want to be in school for another 4 years. So I had a couple friends who went to accelerated nursing programs, specifically Binghamton and NYU. And I was talking to these girls and I'm like, tell me more, tell me more. They loved it. They became nurses. And I think 16 and 18 months, don't quote me. Or I think NYU is actually 12 months, and I think Binghamton was 16. I'm like, cool. So I started doing more research. I started looking into these programs. Everyone's like 3.0, 3.5, all these GPAs that I don't have. And I'm like, okay, I can't get into any of these schools. Like literally every single school I applied for was like, no, your grades. And I was like, I know, but like undergrad was rough. I ended up picking Bellarmine. I went to, what was the name of that website? nursingcash, like nursingcas.com. And it's basically a list of all like nursing programs that I guess are affiliated with nursingcash. You can make one application and then apply for every nursing school that you want using that one site, which is kind of cool. You do have to pay the application fee of every single school, but it takes way less time because you only have to fill out one application, if that makes sense. In the beginning, I wanted schools in Houston because my boyfriend lives in Houston, or at the time lived in Houston, but again, I didn't get into any of those schools. I applied to UT, University of Houston, Baylor, like just places in Texas that would be closer than New York to Houston for our relationship. Didn't get into any of those. I ended up applying for Bellarmine because I literally Googled school that will let you in with bad GPA. And Bellarmine came up. Bellarmine is a school that I went to, and it's in Kentucky, which I've never been to. I took a leap of faith going to this school, but it was one of those things that God was like, yeah, you need to be here, because he, like, every step along the way, he just confirmed things. Anything I didn't have, I applied when I was still missing classes, and they conditionally accepted me and sent me like online programs. They were just very helpful and really wanted me to get in and be successful in the program. So I ended up going to that school. I had a 2.79 GPA in my undergrad. So that's what I was applying to nursing school with. And this was after all my prereqs. And that's another thing. I'm not sure if Bellarmine does it this way, but I know some schools will just take the GPA of the prerequisites. And so that's something to look into if you're looking to apply to schools, but your grades aren't good and you still have to take prereqs, do really well in the prereqs, and then see if they just take the GPA of that. Anyways, applied to that school, moved to Kentucky, May of 2019, started my program. I personally decided to stay in an apartment because I had a dog, so I didn't want to stay in the dorms, but the dorms are free during the summertime because there's no other students there besides the accelerated nursing students. So that's something to also look into. Did the program, it was really good. Bellarmine is kind of like the Harvard, I would say, of Kentucky. What I mean by that is like everyone in Kentucky kind of like, oh, you went to Bellarmine. That's a very good education. So if you do plan on staying in Kentucky after, Bellarmine's a really good school to go to because all the hospitals pick Bellarmine students before any other school for nursing when it's time to get a job. You can work whatever job you want. It's not the type of place where you have to start med surg because you're a new grad. So the only things I didn't like about the program was that sometimes it was a little unorganized, and I think it's like that because every year they try to make it better. So they tweak things, but you know when you tweak something and it's new, it takes time to like get used to it, but then they'll tweak it again the next year. And so it's like this constant state of tweaking to make it good. And it could be something good, but it's just so new and everyone's getting used to it that it creates disorganization. So that's kind of the only thing I didn't like. You kind of have to be on top of your stuff because they're always changing things. You have to be really good at answering your emails and stuff like that. But I mean, it's nursing, so you're expected to do that anyways. The school was from May to the following May. Every class is 6 weeks. You take about 2 to 3 classes at a time. 2 to 3? Yeah, 3. Mostly every term is 3. And then there are some chances where if you took a class in your undergrad, you don't have to take it again, which is research and theology was 2 of the classes that I know that if you took it in your undergrad, you didn't have to take it again during the nursing program. 12 months. I know for right now, clinicals are online because of COVID. And some clinicals were in person, but it was like every other week or something weird like that. My roommate is in the program right now. She's about to finish, but something weird like that. And then, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it on the nursing program and like logistics of it. For Bellarmine, 77 is passing, and so you have to keep at least that. Yes, they take 76.5. I've been there where that 76.5 has saved my life. And then I do have a couple questions that people were also asking me that I'll just answer because I answered it in the individual comments, but I took screenshots of them so I can answer it for everyone just in case you guys had the same questions. Someone said, which nursing program did you attend? Bellarmine University, it's in Kentucky. The school's very expensive, but very much worth it, I think. It's a really good school. Again, I wanted to work in a NICU, got that job before I even graduated. Most of my friends got jobs before they graduated. Working OR, I did NICU. One of my friends did ICU. Like, we all got the job that we wanted, and most of us got jobs before we even graduated, which was really nice. Someone said, I was told you have to do prerequisites before beginning an BSN. How do you do that, especially as an international student? I think the best way to do the prerequisites is obviously ask Bellarmine what schools you can take the classes on that they will accept, basically. Me being from New York, I had to make sure that whatever school I took the prereqs at, it will be accepted in Kentucky. But they can also give you a list of like community college or different places that you can take it, and then obviously speak to the schools and find out how much it's going to cost, how much time and stuff like that. Again, during COVID, I feel like this is a good time to take advantage of stuff like that because a lot of stuff is online. So I feel like go to community college, take the class online, pay cheap, get good grades, and be on your way. Someone said, did your teacher give you practice questions, or was there a website or book that you used? I always found my own practice questions. The teachers don't really give you any, but practice questions are always good because the concepts for nursing stay the same, but the questions change. And so if you can do as many questions as possible and understand how the different concepts are being used, you'll pretty much be green for whatever question your teacher asks you on the test. Someone said, for the tease test, what book did you use? I honestly don't remember, sorry, this is kind of useless, but I just went on Amazon and looked up like tease study guide, and I did not even go through the whole book, but I got an 88 on the tease, which was what I needed for whatever school I applied to that needed the tease. And someone said, how was going through nursing school with a boyfriend? Did it take a toll on your relationship? This is a very interesting question because in orientation, when I first started school, they said that they have a 50% divorce rate, and I'm not married, but I have a boyfriend, which is less of a commitment, I feel like. And so I was kind of like, this is not going to be good, especially because the program is very demanding, but also I'm long distance, so help. I think that one thing that I definitely learned is communicating, and communicating boundaries, and communicating expectations, making sure that his needs are met and mine. I'm definitely someone who's very tunnel vision. I can get very focused on what's in front of me and kind of forget about everything else in the world. And so we did have to have a lot of conversations about like, how's our relationship doing? Are you feeling love? Things like that. So it's definitely possible. We've been long distance for 3 years, and 12 months of that I was in an accelerated nursing program. And so as long as you're communicating, setting expectations, you should be completely fine, and obviously sticking to those boundaries and expectations. Okay, so that was pretty much all the questions. The other questions I kind of answered early on in just telling you my story, but thank you so much if you stayed along for this whole video. If you're not a subby, please subscribe. I would love to put out more videos about like nursing and videos about like my experience working in a NICU and what being a new grad was like, especially during COVID. So I have a lot of things coming that you guys can look forward to. But thank you again just so much for watching my video and staying through the whole thing. I will see you guys in my next one. Lay.